This is going to be more than a summit, a therapy session. There's so many layers to this Niners season, Steiny, and we'll be out there at the Hilton, rightfully so. That is a humongous game. Aaron Rodgers, the Jets, I got them solid on the hot seat, I believe.
It's not.
I got the Jets going far in the AFC. That's for another show.
Is he on the hot seat or are they going far?
It's both. If you don't go far, you can. That's New York.
But you're saying he's going far.
They're on his neck already. Him and Rodgers not seeing eye to eye. But anyway, that's a heavyweight bout Monday night. Aikman and Buck in town. We should try to get Aikman on.
He's your guy.
I don't like any of it.
Possibly.
I'm excited for football.
I can tell.
I just hate the week off. So you get us all
Apparently
ready.
you were wrong on this one, too, again.
No.
You've made it. The way you're acting, and maybe you're right.
This is new since they added the extra game. So it's
Evan?
about the third year of this. I don't like any of it.
Okay,
I
so
like the last
been going on
preseason
for a
game.
while.
Well, a couple years. Yeah.
I bet it's going on longer than you think.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mike in Santa Clara.
Mikey.
He knows the season's shot already. What's up, Mike?
Oh, I don't think it's shot.
Oh,
man.
I'm sorry. I misread.
No. No. I never said it was shot. I'm just a little concerned. And by the way, Goo, good to have you back. It's always nice to have our Stephen A. of the Bay back.
Oh, wow.
So,
all I need is boy, cut that. Yeah, I take that as a compliment, baby.
Oof.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, take it as a compliment. We need you. So, anyway, guys, what I was talking about was Goose, I forget which one of you said it a little bit earlier. You know, we're focusing on the now. Super Bowl is now, but also looking to the future. My concern is obviously with these holdouts and, especially with Trent possibly maybe not even being there week one. And, week one is going to be a much more difficult game than I think people possibly think it's going to be. That defense is pretty stacked on the Jets side. I'm just worried because, obviously looking to the future, Trent Williams, even at his age, he's still part of that future. And with him holding out, I worry about, especially with the Jets game, maybe the next 3 to 4 games may not be as bad, but look, it's the NFL. These are professional athletes on every single team. You don't get to the NFL just by being a scrub. So even if it is like the Cardinals or someone like that, they're still a professional football team and anything can happen. So, again, I'm just trying to figure out what's going to happen. And I'm a little nervous about how it's going to start at the beginning of the season if these holdouts continue to happen. So thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.
And a lesson you gave me to his point before I left, Steiny, just moving forward, if they lost to the Jets, your partner, me, would not come in here and be like the season's over. There's a standard that the Niners and Kyle and Brock have set. Bosa, and again, it's operation, try to get that championship that's been elusive. My point is there's no stiffer test, maybe the Ravens, than the Jets. Like, I think this is for the offense, the Jets got a great defense, and with Rodgers back and the weaponry they have, this is awesome for a week one test. The season's not over, but could you imagine if Trent and Ayuk are not a part of your team?
Of course.
Now,
of course.
We're getting there. That thing is staring you in the face.
And then, you know what, Goo? Your whole notion of it being a humongous game, the 49ers would be telling you it's actually not. Because we didn't think enough of it to get these guys onto the field. So
what if I were to retort with, it's bigger than a week one if you don't get your guys on the field? That, to me, signals something else major is going on. Like the timing, Steve Young talking about the Niners not taking advantage last year of a chief offense that is going to be a lot more lethal this year. Like, everything lined up last year. And these problems would be a lot more easier, I believe, for Niner fans to digest and process, Steiny, if you had that bling. If you had just one ring,
they don't.
And you were looking at it.
And it's pointless. It's pointless to talk like that.
But that's what makes it worse to me is there's no guarantee you'll get back to that stage to try to get that elusive ring.
Why would you assume they're going to just get back? And in fact, that's what
their roster up into this offseason.
Well, according to Chris Sims,
Chrissy.
49ers would be my 4, definitely. One, hey, listen, I think the quarterback is a hair overrated. They are getting up there in age. The receivers, as far as like Kittle, his age, the offensive line, other than Trenton Williams, doesn't really have another guy that you would put in the marquee list of offensive linemen out there. Defense, we know they're talented, but I think what I'm also taking into account is you're not going to have Dre Greenlaw near 100% anytime soon. Hufunga at safety is still working his way back, right? So there's some of that, along with, like you talked about, the aging of the football team that still really, really talented. And Shanahan will, if he finds out, text me the middle finger emoji or something like this. But
good.
Regardless,
Good. I'll make sure he finds out.
They're damn good. There's no doubt. But yeah, I don't think they're quite the Lions or the Packers. Not this year.
Wow. If they actually, and I believe it's now, they got matching tattoos, communicate that way. That's awesome. But I'm one of those guys, and you know this from the Warriors. You can hit me all day with the birth certificate, but until my natural eyes see a guy slowing down, that's when I get concerned. But nothing he said is, you could put that, the Packers are getting older. Yeah, they're young, but you know what I'm saying? Until we actually see guys start to slow down, there's nothing to see here. It's just natural.
Well, Trent Williams has started to slow down.
No, but he was an all-pro again last year, which I know you kind of like, okay, good.
What are you saying? Have any of the Warriors slowed down?
Yeah, they're at different rates.
Yeah,
but not to the point to where the Niners are not picked to win. They're picked in a lot of outlets, and my outlet representing the National Football Conference.
Yeah, the question I have for 49er fans is, what's your expectation right now of this team? Because I'll tell you right now, and I know a lot of you out there will roll your eyes because I'm not a fan, but if I were a 49er fan, the goal would be very simple. Make the playoffs. Make the playoffs. That's the goal after the way the preseason went.
So you're changing this based on what's popping off. Like you just said it, preseason.
Not really. But I think the idea of Super Bowl or bust is a joke. I really do. You can't. There's things that are going to happen that you can't control. And in order to win a Super Bowl, every single thing I feel like's got to go right. And the 49ers can have a great year and something happens and then they don't win a Super Bowl. It's nobody's fault, but it just happens. And I look at this team right now, and the Rams are supposed to be better.
Yeah.
The Packers are supposed to be better. The Lions are supposed to be better. And so what's the first goal? Let's make the playoffs. Make the playoffs. Give me 10, 11 wins. And we'll see. We'll try to get the number 1 seed. But if this stuff bleeds into the season and leaks into the season, we might not have that luxury. But I just feel like, I don't, that's the one thing that I don't jump all the way to a championship. You got 17 games first. You got to make the playoffs.
You sound like Kyle. Like I could hear a coach saying that to his players. But let me throw this to you, because it sounds like you
can't say, on the one hand, like you have all off season, and say, Steiny, they were lucky to beat the Packers. They were lucky to come back and beat the Lions.
I believe that.
And then just assume that this upcoming year they're just going to win 3 playoff games or 2 playoff games and then the Super Bowl. You can't assume that. I don't.
Well, what would you give me for this? Because I feel like you're kind of describing it without even knowing it. I don't believe the team that loses the Super Bowl can have a Super Bowl hangover. I feel like that's only for the guys that win the game. Now, I never played in the league, Steiny, shocker, but a Super Bowl hangover to me is for the winner.
Well,
the loser, I think they go use that fuel to and no nonsense. And that's why I'm shocked that the front office and the players, Ayuk and Trent, are doing what they're doing this close to go time.
The stats tell you that it's harder for a team that lost the Super Bowl to get back to the Super Bowl than a team that's won the Super Bowl to get back to the Super Bowl. So, I absolutely think there's something to the fact that the 49ers got all the way to the mountaintop last year.
Man, OT.
They didn't get it done, and now they're back at the starting line with everybody else, with 32 other teams. And so now everything starts over. Everything starts over. They're not the best team in football right now. They're 0-0. There's 32 other teams or 32 teams, and you go out and you beat the Jets, and you look good, and you're 1-0, and everybody says, well, okay, let's get this thing rolling, and maybe you start out 4-1, and there's good feelings around. Somebody else may be 5-0, and you may not get the number one seed, but to me, it's about making the playoffs. Make the playoffs, and then you go into the postseason, and you try to win as many games as you can. But there's just no guarantee.
Well, what's funny about all this is, I'll tell you who the Jets. Yeah, you're right, Steiny. I can't even argue that. But the Jets know what they're going to look like and who their quarterback's going to throw and be protecting for them week one. And if we went to 31 other teams, it's maybe Dallas with the CD Lamb thing, because Jamar Chase, I think he's back practicing. But my point is, Niner fans are on edge of what are we going to look like that game?
You know what?
That, to me, what are we going to look like? Forget winning the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think 49er fans are on edge. I worked last week. We took calls from fans. I don't think they're on edge. I think they still feel great about this team.
So they're assuming Ayuk will be here.
I guess. But 888-957-9570 is the number. We talked about this, last few weeks about how you feel about the Niners, the vibe. And Guru used an interesting phrase there. If you're a Niner fan right now, are you on edge? I kind of feel like there's a lot of fans out there that are still not overly concerned, and I still feel like there are a lot of fans out there who don't think that this Trent Williams-Ayuk thing is serious yet.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. 888-957-9570 is the number. I mean, the thing I've struggled with the whole time is everybody says it's a throwaway line, but everybody seems to say, oh, this is their year. The window, they're never going to have a better chance. It's all about this year. Well, the 49ers, to me, and Ayuk and Williams aren't telling you that it's the most important year.
Wow, man.
If it were the most important year, I think, can't we all agree that if this year were truly the most important year, and Shanahan and Lynch truly believe this year was more important than last year, will be more important than next year, if that's really true, those guys would be here.
Well,
they would. They would. But it's not just about this year.
Okay, let's take this. We work for Odyssey. Your last name is Steinmetz. You have daughters. You have dreams. You have aspirations, and your job helps you, get to those. But Steiny, you're not going to put Odyssey before your family. And if not coming to work is going to fetch you some more cash, my point is you're standing on that because your last name and your family mean more to you than Odyssey. And not saying Odyssey doesn't mean a lot to you, but it's behind. And so I say that to say, that's what Trent and Ayuk are doing. They're trying to take care of their family and their future. And they're not throwing the middle finger to the Niners. But when you say it the way you said it like I do feel Trent and Ayuk are all in, but they're using this as leverage to secure their future.
What? I mean, why would you think they're all in? Like, why? I'm not taking a fight. Because
this is all business.
Okay.
And Bosa did it, but nobody knew, and everybody knew he wasn't going to leave. So there was no fear factor. I forget what network that used to be on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can't tell me Trent Williams is all in.
Oh, Pike, thank you.
You can't tell me Trent Williams is all in. I'm sorry. No. I'm not saying he's a head case. I'm not saying he's but don't tell me he's all in.
Well, he's
not here.
What if I feel like you're not giving him the benefit of the doubt as far as when he signs that name and he's yet to miss an actual game, he's going to give you his all.
You used the phrase all in. I do not believe he is all in right now. And I would say, how the hell could you even say that when he has a contract? He's under contract, and he's not there.
But he's standing on being true to himself and getting as much the money grab. And you can almost respect it.
Okay, you can almost respect it. Does that mean you don't respect it? What does
I guess I'm
almost
just saying
mean?
I'm not at the harbor of docking the boat of he's not, because I know what I'm going to get when he signs. And I believe that.
You think you do?
Well, you hope you do.
Yeah.
But he's all.
Of course. But give me a break with Trent Williams is all in. If Trent Williams were all in, he'd be here.
Well, are the Niners all in? Had they met his demand? You know what I mean? Had they got something hashed out?
Well, they didn't. They haven't.
So it's 50-50.
I don't care what it is. He's 50-50 in. Because I'll give him half the blame for this. The bottom line is, don't tell me Trent Williams is all in. The other thing Evan brought up last week, and I wish I knew the players.
Yeah, tell me.
Do you realize that it was, what was his name? The Chiefs just signed their center to the biggest contract a center has ever gotten.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was in camp. He was in camp practicing.
Right.
And then he signed a deal, and now he's the most lucrative, highly paid center in football.
Yeah. Steiny, look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not mad at Trent. I think we know where he's at in regard to his career. We all expect this. It's kind of funny. We've never heard Kyle say he's irritated with Trent and how he's going about his business. And maybe because he hadn't made the rounds like Ayuk had. But I guess if I'm a Niner fan or I'm part of the organization, I kind of know I'm going to get Billy Badass when we do get this hashed out.
Kind of know.
Well, like I'm not, what's his, come on, Steiny.
What?
He's an A- left tackle.
He's been, yeah.
And I'm assuming when we get this hashed out, once he gets on the field Monday night,
good.
I'm going to get all of him.
Okay, you probably will. I'm just saying he's not there now.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I feel like you're just blowing past what he's trying to accomplish. And I know
what he's trying to accomplish. He needs to be the highest paid left tackle in football. And because he's not right now, he's not in training camp. Because that's something that apparently to Trent Williams is hugely important, to be the highest paid left tackle.